Alexander, we just finished our weekend in Silverstone. A pretty challenging weekend by all accounts, but a very positive result in the end. Just talk me through some of the main points over Silverstone.
I think coming into Silverstone after the summer break, we had something that we wanted to prove, and that was showing pace on track and in every condition thrown at us. And the weekend started off a bit tricky on Friday with having an issue in the morning, but that quickly got rectified for the afternoon, and we were on pace for the first time really in the dry. And to be only 3/10 off on a track that's as tricky as this with so many variable corners, it was something that was very positive, and it kind of was the first step that we needed to take to get the team back on track and to kind of get the confidence back where it needed to be. And so going into qualifying on Saturday, we always knew that the weather was going to play a major role at Silverstone. And it was quite wet in qualifying, and we had always been quick in the wet before, but with our kind of new approach to the race car, we were a bit concerned as to whether or not it would translate the performance from dry to wet. But it did, and we qualified third, which was matching or close to matching our best result, which we had in Monaco towards the beginning of the year. And so going into the race, starting third, it was a position that we definitely knew that we could win from, and we were going for the race win because, again, we knew that the possibility was there, and we really wanted to show that we were back and ready to fight for the championship. And we were leading the race, and that's the first time that we were able to do that this year. Unfortunately, it only lasted a couple of corners. We were on slick tires, and there was one corner on the track where the rain was quite heavy, and I hit a puddle and went straight off track along with 9 other drivers. So it was kind of a stage in the race where you can go to wet to slicks, but with 70% of the track still being dry, we made the decision to stay on slicks, and it caught us out. But we weren't the only ones, so we could take a little consolation in that. But unfortunately, because there were so many other cars that went off, my car actually got hit once. I was already, in the barrier, and that caused a lot of damage to the rear of the car. And despite the team's best efforts, we weren't able to get it back on track for qualifying 2, which was directly after race 1. And so that meant for Sunday morning, we were forced to start from the back, which was less than optimum, let's say. But I knew going in that I had a race car, and I definitely had a point to prove, because to crash out of the lead is definitely something that's very difficult as a racing driver to get over. And we finished the race in 5th with no pit stop, and this was not a mandatory pit stop race, so it made the result even that much better for the team. And the fact that we were able to get both cars in the top 5 was great, and it shows that we are here and we did exactly what we set out to do. And now we just need to translate that going into Budapest and hopefully fight for our first race win.
Obviously, overtaking 20 cars in 45 minutes is pretty exceptional. Talk me through the sort of newfound confidence you have with the team in the car.
I think the confidence came just because in every session we were actually competitive, and as the car has gotten to this point, me as a driver and kind of being able to see that win is in front of us, I have the confidence as well in the car, and I'm able to push it that little bit more. And in motorsports, when you're dealing with tenths and hundredths of a second, even if the car's competitive, if you don't have that kind of edge as a driver that gives you that extra couple of tenths to fight for the race wins, you're going to be struggling a bit. And when the car's working well, then it just gives you every opportunity, and you can feel the grip, and you just kind of find new ways to get around the track. And I think that showed a lot in race 2 and on Sunday, and starting from the back, because I was able to drive around people in places where maybe you normally wouldn't expect. But that's all because of the fact that I felt so comfortable with the car, and the car was giving me such good feedback, and the confidence that it did inspire allowed me to do the things that we did today.
And looking ahead to Budapest now, we've got 3 races left. Feeling confident, obviously, something to maintain?
Yes, absolutely. I think that we'll go into Budapest knowing that we still have a long ways to go, and that there are very good teams and drivers in this championship, and this is kind of we got our first toe into the water here, and we're going to keep trying to develop it. And we still need to work on qualifying, to be honest. Our dry qualifying pace is lacking a bit, but I think that's kind of the final piece of the puzzle, because our race pace is something that's very strong. And I think once we get qualifying right, then we'll definitely be able to give everyone a run for the money. And we're going to look to win races. The championship is still quite a ways out. And so we're still taking 1 race at a time. And once we get the first race win under our belt, then we'll start to look at where we're at and keep pushing forward.